I have ChatGPT, I have Grok, and a bunch of other AI services, but you know what? Convenience matters to me too. And say what you will about Apple writing tools, they are convenient. Who here uses Apple writing tools? Leave a comment down below. I'm curious. I've only recently started doing it myself. It's kind of helpful for certain tasks, and since I use Windows on my Mac through Parallels, it's really convenient to be able to hop between the environments, my Mac development environment, my Windows development environment, and be able to use the same writing tools in both. Ah yes, Stack Overflow. Let's take a look at unanswered questions. First one, asked today. I have been scratching my head over this. I want to include the Telerik NuGet in my solution, but getting error 1301, unable to load the service index for source. Gonna write my answer. Okay. First of all, you need to really read the manual, aka RTFM, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Second, this has been asked and answered. 1, click the plus. 2, put in the name and the address. 3,
exclamation, 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 click update, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
This is why I don't answer questions on Stack Overflow. But if I had writing tools, I'll select this. And I'll go right click, writing tools, make friendly, replace. All right, let me break it down for you. First things first, you should definitely read the manual, or as we like to call it, RTFM. It's not exactly super friendly, is it? Let's do writing tools again, make a list. Point 1 is read the manual. Point 2 is, I didn't say that Apple writing tools were the best, okay? But you can see here that this could be useful for somebody that's trying to get into answering or commenting on Stack Overflow. But let's get in here and see how we can get this working within the Windows environment inside Parallels inside a Mac. So I have my Mac Mini here, and I'm gonna set Windows up on it. If you already know how to do this, and if you watched my previous videos on this topic, then good for you. You can just skip to the part where we talk about writing tools. You can go to Parallels. Right now there's a discount, and there's a code that I'll leave down below if you want to check it out. There's actually a free 14-day trial, so you don't need to buy anything. You can click on this try free button and download the installer. Double click on the big icon, click open. This will download a couple of extra assets and start installing your program. Right away, it gives you an option to download and install Windows 11 with one button, and I've shown how to do that too. It's just this one button right here. But if we click on other options, you'll see all the other things that are available. You can create virtual machines for Mac OS, so Mac OS running inside Mac OS, Ubuntu Linux, Fedora Linux, Debian GNU Linux, Kali Linux. All these are options you can install pretty simply. I'm gonna click on this big Get Windows 11 from Microsoft button, and I'm gonna click Continue. Install Windows. Boom. As a side note, Microsoft recognizes Parallels as the official vendor for Windows 11. It's gonna download this 4 GB file. I have pretty fast internet here, 1 gigabit, so this is gonna take less than a minute. And there it is. Windows is starting up. Now this is the typical Windows setup that you would get directly on hardware, but here it's virtual. It doesn't matter. It still considers it to be an installation of Windows from scratch, which means it's gonna have to download a few things, set a few things up, restart the computer a couple of times. Hey, it's Windows. That's how it works, okay? You can see the time, right? That took about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 4. Hi, getting things ready for you. After a few reboots, we finally got to the screen. It would not be an authentic Windows experience without it. Hey, look at that. I'm on the desktop of my Windows machine. Now I can make this full screen, and I can switch between Windows and Mac environment just like that. And also, you see these files on my desktop and Windows? These are the files that are on my desktop on the Mac. So I can just drag and drop files back and forth like that. So let's full screen this. And you know what I love about Windows that Macs don't have, and I really wish they did? I don't know why, but this just makes me feel so much better. Not like I really need it, but I just feel like I have more control this way. When I right click on Windows anywhere, I can just say new text document. I don't know why, but I love that. Why can't Mac OS just have that? Double click on that text document. Hello, my name is Alex. Select that, and to pop open writing tools inside Windows, you can do Command-Shift-W, and it pops open your Apple writing tools. Let's go with Professional. Professional just makes it capitalized and puts a comma at the end of hello. I'm not giving it much to work on, I realize that. Here's the back end of my YouTube channel, things you don't get to normally see from the front end. I have this description, cracking code and curiosities. I turned caffeine-fueled late nights into bites of wisdom. Welcome aboard, I'm Alex, with 20 plus years of mastering the arts of coding and now the craft of content creation. Subscribe to my channel and join me, or else. No, there's nowhere else. Just kidding. So I can do that in place right there, or I can just paste it in here in my text document. Do Command-Shift-W. Let's do, I don't know, let's do professional. Let's play around with this a little bit. There's a couple of different options in there. Through my dedication to cracking codes and exploring curiosity, that's wrong. It's not codes, it's code, but you get the idea. Here is a rewritten piece of content that can be plopped in there. Now you can do that in place on the internet too. Right here is a text box, Command-Shift-W, and let's go with, this is cool, table. I don't know how it's gonna pull a table out of there, but it did it. Name Alex, title content creator, description cracking code and curiosities, blah, 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 and there's a link. So it came up with a table. Pretty cool. You know what's lacking though? My GitHub about me or the README. Hi there, this is pretty cool. That's pretty lame. Let's edit that. I'm gonna take this description here from my YouTube channel, plop it in here. Instead of this is pretty cool, I'm gonna paste that in and then do Command-Shift-W. Let's do first professional, replace, Command-Shift-W again, and we'll do concise. Let's remove that bottom part. I'm gonna just commit this change right here. Commit changes, that's fine. This is all fun, but what about actual work that you have to do? Well, let's say you wanna do some learning. You wanna take a look at the new version of React. And this is, on one page, they have all this information. That's crazy. So you select all this, all the way up to the top, Command-Shift-W, and say, give me a summary. React 19 introduces actions, a new feature of handling pending states, errors, forms, and optimistic updates. It gives me a summary. It's still something to read, a couple of paragraphs, 4 paragraphs there, but it gives you a sense of what's new here. You can also try to make a list out of this. This is super convenient because it's just a hotkey and then a choice, as opposed to having to copy this, paste it into ChatGPT, and then you have to prompt it carefully, telling it what you want it to do. Here, it's really simple and quick. Let's go with key points here. React 19 release date, December 5th, 2024. New features, pre-warming of suspended trees. You get the idea. Good for documentation summarization. Let's say you're working on some documentation for, I don't know, an open source project or your own project, like this, for example, like this README. You can proofread it and it'll give you some messages, what you can change. Here's how you can set up your local development environment, clone to contribute, set up a workspace for development, list all available commands to run. That'll just give you a sense of what can be done with that page. However, let's see if Apple Writing Tools can handle this in Markdown. So I'm gonna hit rewrite on this section this time around. Let's see if it keeps the formatting. It does. It recognized this as Markdown and it's not replacing any of the Markdown tags, so that's pretty handy. I think one feature that people often overlook with writing tools is that it actually is kind of like reading tools too. So for example, here's native script documentation, and let's say I want to write a plugin. Let's take a look at this one right here. This is a blog post. It goes into a lot of detail about how to create a plugin. This is a lot, so I'm just going to select it all. I'm gonna do Command-Shift-W and say key points. I don't necessarily want a summary. I want to kind of read a bullet point list, like an outline. So here are the key points: touch animation enhancement, plugin versus core integration, implementation considerations, and it gives me a little tiny summary for each one of those sections. Reading tools, folks. So now you can do this stuff inside Windows as well as on the Mac, and that's a pretty welcome feature. Now, if you're interested in Parallels and you want to know more about how to use it for development, check out this video right over here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.